to know or not to know? That is the question.
Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.
Welcome, dear friend. It's a sultry Sunday evening here in Blighty. So the only thing for it was a cup of Earl Grey tea. Smoky and dusky. Gorgeous. So please come and join me. Come and join me because that's what we're doing. We're sharing tea as always. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. So please do your own research. Did you know that if you like my content, you can support me in all manner of ways? You can like this video, you can subscribe down below, you can comment, and actually you can also buy me coffee. There's a link in the description. All support is really, really appreciated to keep this channel going, so thank you. Now, before we get into the main course of this video, I have a little starter, a little hors d'oeuvre, if you will. It's a new feature for Chalk Talk, and I'm calling it SADDO of the Week. SADDO of the Week. So, if you call my last video, which I'll link up here, it was about FUD. And I said on that video that I sometimes receive comments from FUDers. And that's all fine, but sometimes those comments kind of cross a line. And I think for me, it crossed a line when actually the FUD comment is actually, it turns into something beyond FUD. It turns into something a little bit personal. And I thought it would be a great idea to showcase those comments in my videos. So when I receive such comments, and you know, I do receive quite a lot of these kind of comments, I'm going to pick the very best and I'm going to share it with you. So this week's SADDO of the week goes to Hamza Safuu. Congratulations, my friend. And here's the winning comment that I'd like to share with you. So Hamza Safuu said to me, "Chill, sis. You like 60 years old doing crypto. Pre-order a coffin first, Lambo second." What a delightful young person that must be. I'm saying young because obviously they think being 60 or over is very old. And actually, you've got it a little bit wrong because I'm nowhere near that age, but there you go. And I'm going to say it's a boy. A boy. So, young man, thank you for your comment. And I'm saying thank you on two levels, actually. The first one is thank you for commenting, because any comments made on any videos by Safuu YouTubers help to push Safuu videos out to the algorithm and get them seen by more people. So thank you for the comment. And secondly, although I don't appreciate the coffin mention, I do appreciate that by saying a Lambo, you're recognizing that through investing in Safuu, I will be in a position at some point soon to buy a Lamborghini. So thank you for recognizing that in your comments. Anyway, I hope you like that new feature. I'll be back with more in the future, no doubt. And thank you again, Hamza Safuu. You're delightful. So, to node or not to node? That is the question that's on many people's lips within Discord. And of course, the announcement of last week by Brian the Legend, announcing that full nodes and actually light nodes were going to go on sale. I mean, cut price sale. And with full nodes being reduced down to $11,900. And light nodes also being reduced, I think, down to $360. Suddenly, there's a lot more people talking about nodes, and I'm one of them, because until last week, a full node at $49,000 was actually out of my reach. But with the new price, suddenly afford one, and I've been whitelisted. So I, like many people, have been crunching numbers, and I think a lot of people are asking the question, well, is it better to buy certainly a full node? Is it better to buy a full node, or keep the Safuu that you would have spent on the full node and allow it to rebase between now and the 20th of October, and then obviously convert it into SafuuX? So that's what I've been thinking of. And in response to that, I have come up with kind of 5 reasons or 5 things that you might want to contemplate as I have contemplated. And my contemplation has led me to believe that for me, buying a full node is absolutely the right way to go forward. So I'm going to give you those 5 things that I've been thinking of. I think, you know, whether you're thinking of full nodes or light nodes, the things I'm going to talk about now actually apply to both. So it doesn't matter really. The only other thing I would say before I get into those 5 things is, if you didn't buy a full node, and the same again will apply for a light node, but let's talk about a full node. If you didn't buy a full node and you kept that approximately, well, we don't know how many Safuu the full node is going to be until the day, until we know the price of Safuu. But if you estimate, I don't know, if the price of Safuu is at $11, you're looking at just over 1,000 Safuu tokens to buy that full node. Now, if you took those tokens and didn't buy the node, if you kept them and kept them rebasing, there is no question that come January, you will have more SafuuX if you don't buy the node than if you do. There's no question. It rebases, then you sacrifice on the first day and you get that 65% in addition. Obviously the unknown again is we don't know the prices of Safuu on the day of sacrifice, but presuming that it's going to be up at about, I don't know, $20, let's say, with the effect of Dubai being in place, etc, etc, there's no question you will have more SafuuX come the end of testnet than if you bought a node. No question. However, that is not the full story. So let's get in to my 5 reasons why I am going to try my very best to buy a full node. So my first reason is really based on what I've always been very clear is my strategy around Safuu and SafuuX going forward. So I've been very clear that I'm in Safuu to earn not only long-term wealth, but also passive income. And when I think about the benefit of owning a node, I really like the idea of having kind of the 2 different things going on, with the node bringing me in the passive income and the SafuuX that I will hold separately. And sorry, I should have explained, even though I buy a node, I'm very fortunate that I will still have a goodly bag of SafuuX to kind of hold and build as my long-term wealth. And so for me personally, because of my strategy and the fact that I am currently taking passive income and will continue to want to take passive income, then the idea of having the node working as passive income and then still being able to hide away, keep away and not touch my bag of SafuuX, for me is very, very attractive and works for what I need it to do. So that's my first reason. That might not be anything that applies to you, but something to think about, maybe it does. Reason number 2, I'm calling diversification, which we know is always a good thing, whatever you're doing, and especially if you're investing. Diversification is a good thing. And I believe that can happen within a project. So like Safuu, and obviously SafuuX in the future, I really find the idea of holding a bag of SafuuX and having a node, 2 separate entities as it were, but kind of there is it as you know, it's not much diversification because it's only 2 things, but I just really like that idea that in effect, not all my eggs are in one basket. And I guess ultimately what I'm thinking of is my understanding that at some point in the future we will reach max supply of SafuuX. And I think, and I might be wrong, don't quote me on this, but I think at that point the rebasing might come to an end. But if you have a node, then obviously you still have, I don't want to say guaranteed income because nothing is guaranteed obviously, but you still have the potential of a really good income on top of, besides the rebasing, which we know will happen within the node anyway, but if and when that rebasing ends, you've still got the income in terms of, you know, the gas fees, etc., that you'll receive as a node owner. Number 3, I'm calling the permanence of a node. What do I mean by that? Well, I guess what I mean is that if you are a node holder, then it's kind of more difficult to get rid of it than if you had a nice bag of SafuuX just sitting there waiting to be sold. And I guess it's like, you know, if you've got savings in a bank and you almost like got a cool off period where you go to the bank and you want to withdraw something and you've got to sign something and, you know, you've got to wait 3 days or 7 days before you can actually withdraw that money. It's kind of the same, I think, if you're a node holder, because if you're a holder, it's not as simple as just saying, well, I don't want it anymore. I don't think. So it feels more permanent, and therefore I think will sustain you if and when you feel tempted to sell it all, maybe? I don't know. It feels more permanent, and I personally like that idea. Number 4 is to do with something, well, I've mentioned this before, and it's the idea that I find really attractive of being a part of the blockchain mechanism. I just think it's something I've never done. I've never had a validator node, and I don't know anybody else that has. But the idea of being part of that blockchain and such an important part of it, I find really attractive. And I think you're also showing your support of the project by, and you know, your faith in the project going forward by purchasing the node. And again, that's something that is important to me personally. And number 5 is, of course, the big pull of nodes, which is the potential income. Now, going back to something I said earlier about, you know, should you buy a node or should you keep the Safuu and sacrifice it for SafuuX? And I said that unquestionably you'll have more SafuuX come January if you don't buy a node. But for me, there's something really important here about recognizing the difference between short-term gain and long-term gain. And I mean, let's be clear, you're a winner either way, whether you buy a node or you keep the Safuu and turn it into SafuuX through sacrifice, you're going to win. So I guess underlying all of this, my message is, ultimately, if you don't buy a node because you don't want to, or you don't get one on the day, you're still a winner. That's the bottom line. Anyway, but there is something about the difference between short-term and long-term investment. And at this point, I want to give a shout out to the Greek DeFi guru, who's just done an excellent video on node income. I'll link it down below. Go and watch it. He's got all the detail you need in terms of the potential of both light nodes and full nodes. So make sure you watch this video first, but make sure you go and watch his video next, because it's really excellent and it just gives a bit more detail in terms of potential income from nodes. But if you are thinking long term, and I mean beyond January, I mean beyond July next year, I mean, you know, the life of the blockchain, how long could that even be? Years, decades, who knows? But if you think about the potential as the SafuuX blockchain grows, and if you play with the calculator on the SafuuX website, you'll be in no doubt that as a long-term investment, it's kind of a no-brainer. It all depends on the volume, right, of the blockchain, of the projects on the blockchain. And we know that for the first few months, there may be few. We hope that it's going to grow really quickly, but we just don't know how many projects there will be. It all sounds really promising. But, realistically, we might not be getting, a really good capacity until after 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. Who knows? But if you think of this as a 5 or even a 10-year project, and if you think as each month and each year goes by that more projects come on board, then you push that slider on the calculator in terms of volume, keep going up, and look at the income, the potential income that you will get as a node holder, whether it be full or light. And it's absolutely breathtaking. So that is my last point. The potential for the long-term gain, if you're in this for the long term, then I would seriously consider grabbing whatever node you can, whether it be a full or light or a number of lights. It's a no-brainer. I think it's a no-brainer. You might not agree, but look at the figures and, well, let's see. So those are my 5 reasons why I am definitely on node day. I'll be there with my finger. I'm getting in training already. Hope you are too, because because I think it's going to be a race to the button. Anyway, so I'm definitely going for a node, but I hope my kind of thought patterns in terms of those 5 areas has helped you to come to some sort of decision yourself. Anyway, with that, my friend, I am going to wish you a good evening. Well, good evening here, or a good day, wherever you are, and wish you all the best. Thank you for joining me. And as always, stay Safuu and cheers.
Living life every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.